Okay, guys. So this is probably going to be a lot of bullshit ranting that you're probably not going to want to listen to. So, if you don't want to hear me jibber jabber about a bunch of shit about sad stuff that just pisses me off, then first time I haven't really talked. I mean, he's a cool guy, and I
I told him, and it's because, if a lot of you probably don't know that, me and Chris were long friends for the first year. And I lived in Victorville, and he lived in LA. And a year ago, I moved down here. And I don't have any friends down here. In Victorville, I knew a lot of people, and I was really social, but here, I don't know anybody. Nobody. I go to work, I come home, I hang out with Chris, I hang out with my cats, I watch, various ridiculous TV shows, but that's about it. But anyway, he asked why I wasn't social and why I didn't have any friends, and I told him I wasn't sure, that I used to be really social, because I did. I was a social butterfly. I knew everyone. That was me. I was the girl who knew everybody and talked to everybody, and I told him that the only thing I could think of is it started around when my friend Crystal died. And he asked, how she died, and I told him that, what happened. And then I told him that a year, and he asked if she was my best friend. And I told him, I was like, you know what, no, I can't say she was my best friend. She had a lot of people that she was even closer with than me. But we were in a close-knit group of friends. There was a group of us that hung out all the time. We had our own little crew. That was just what we did. We were always together. And then, now we're not, she died. And, and then I told him that we all stopped kind of hanging out together after Crystal, and then we started hanging out again, and then after Cody and Bodhi died, everybody split up. And that was that. I don't talk to any of them anymore. I mean, maybe a sentence on Facebook hey, how are you? Good, how are you? That's, it's not the same. And he asked how Cody and Bodhi died. And I told him, I was like, they were murdered. I was like, it was really, really big news where we lived because, shit like that doesn't happen in Victorville. And he asked, he was like, well, what were they into that would get, them killed? And I understand why he asked that, because nothing merits murder, obviously, but there are situations that it is, I don't know the word for this, that's gonna not seem harsh, but more common. No, that's not right, but that's what I'm gonna go with. If you're in a gang, or you're into drugs, or gambling, stuff like that, there's some fucked up shady people into shit like that, and I understand why you would ask that, but you know what I could tell him? Not a fucking thing. They weren't into a fucking thing that could get them into a situation like that, you wanna know what they did? What we all would do together? We would hang out at the local coffee shop, and smoke a lot of fucking cigarettes and drink expensive, fancy drinks and listen to bad music and talk about stupid shit. That's what we all did together. That's what was so terrible that got my, And honestly, the worst thing that we ever did is, we all, we drink and smoke weed. The night that they died, the night that that they got killed, everybody was at a fucking desert party at a bunker, just getting high and getting drunk and smoking cigarettes. And that's what was so terrible. And we went to do it in the desert so that we wouldn't fucking be loud in fucking Silver Lakes and disrupt the fucking neighborhood. So we went to the desert and lit a fire and got drunk on fucking beer and wine and cheap ass fucking Papa vodka, because we're kids, and that's what kids do. They get drunk, they get high, but none of that is bad enough. None of that is, whatever. And those fucking guys, that fucking, seriously, Cody and Bodhi was only, I think, 18 years old. Yeah. And Cody, I think, was 19. He was just a year older than her. And the only reason it even happened is because, you know what? She was underage and she lied about where she was going to stay the night, where she was going to be staying the night, because she wanted to spend the night with her boyfriend. You know? And because, you know, she did that, you know, they spent the night together in his truck. And they were going to sleep out in the desert, and everybody else was supposed to too, but it got really cold, and everybody else had somewhere they could go back to, but since, you know, they were lying about where they were, they didn't have anybody's house to go back to. They had to stay out there. And those fucking two douchebags, you know, came back and did it. And you know what pisses me off? It's like, they tried to say that they were trying to rob Cody and Bodhi, and that, you know, bullshit. Bullshit, because you know what? All their fucking shit was still there. The phones were still there. The car was still there. They didn't take a fucking thing, you know. And it just gets to me because these guys were at the party with my friends. You know, they were all hanging out, getting high together, and then they leave. These guys leave with everybody else, and then they come back. And there was three guys, three fucking dudes. And two of them were older, and one was the driver, and he was just a kid. And they told the driver, that they were just gonna rob them. But they didn't. And it's not like my friends like were running from them and they like shot them in the back while they were running to like stop them from getting away. No, they fucking killed them, execution style. Because my friend Ryan found Cody the next morning. Okay? And he was fucked up. Apparently, he was in like fucked up. It was not okay. And just trying to rob him, then how the hell is it that Bodhi, they didn't even know Bodhi was dead till hours later, because these fuckers drug her further into the bunker by herself so that she was alone, and killed her then. And killed her. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, if you're just going to rob some people and then be on your merry way, why are you going to drag this girl, terrified, away from her boyfriend, who, I mean, I don't even know who died first. But either way, like, if Cody's still alive, which I'm going to guess that he probably went first, because then yeah. If he was alive, he probably would have came to try to help her, you know? So, dragging, I mean, fuck you guys, and fucking gloating about it on Facebook, like, seriously? And your dad's a cop, so you think you're gonna just fucking get away with killing two kids who were just, Bodhi was still in high school, and Cody, I mean, he was just, like, I don't know, I think he was in college. And you know how we all knew each other? You know how everybody knew each other? Because we all went to fucking Bible study together. Yeah, terrible fucking kids. Fuck. I mean, shit. And then Crystal, this, it pisses me off, because yeah, her death wasn't as malicious. She wasn't like murdered. She died in a car crash. But what fucking pisses me off is, she had this boyfriend named fucking Tyler, okay? And 2 weeks before she died, they internet dated. First off, they had never met in person, and for a lot of you, you'll understand what I mean when I say that. Like, they e-dated, and they were I don't care what anybody says, you can care about somebody like that before you meet them. And she really did care about this guy. She did. 2 weeks before she died, I'm gonna guess, because this was in 2007, it's been quite a while, I went to her house. I showed up at her house because we were in Silver Lakes, and we were like, let's go say hi to Crystal, you know? And we went, and she was about to meet him, and she was like talking about him and talking about her job and this and that, and she was telling me, she was like, Brittany, you should, you know, come over that weekend so that you can meet him with me, you know, I'd like you to meet him because he's really fucking important. And, you know, she went back in the room to do something, talk to her mom or something, and I looked at my friend Amanda, who was there with me, and I was like, Amanda, let's get the fuck out of here. I don't want to hear her talk about her boyfriend and her fucking work. I don't care. Like, because, I mean, we're fucking kids. Like, we're teenagers, and me and her were like fucking scene queens, and we had like this frenemy thing going on where we really liked each other, but we were like in competition with each other, and I was just like, you know, being this fucking stupid kid and being like, fuck this, let's just go, you know. And of course, I didn't go over to her house that weekend to meet this fucking guy, Tyler. And, you know, a few days later, after he came and visited, she's fucking dead. And you know what pisses me off is she was driving on her way to work, and she was on Route 66 from Silver Lakes. And none of you are gonna know what I'm talking about, but it's a fucking long, straight road, like 2 lanes, forever. There's no stop signs. There's no stop lights. There's nothing. There's just nothing. And because Silver Lakes is like, it's in the middle of fucking nowhere. It's a retirement community, and it's in the middle of nowhere. And so she's driving, and in the report, you never know what really happened because, you know, I wasn't there, obviously. And what the report said is that she was driving, and her car, they don't know why, but her car drifted to the right in the dirt. And when she noticed that it had happened, she overcorrected herself, and she smashed into the car next to her in the oncoming traffic. And it was like some old lady, and they were like, I don't know why she like wasn't looking at the road. I don't understand why like this happened. And I'm like, you know what? I bet good money that she was probably fucking crying, because this day, I'm pretty sure it was the day that she died, that guy Tyler dumped her. He came down and visited her and met her, and then he's like, it wasn't the same in person, you know, and he dumped her. And that day she died. And that guy was such a fucking dick. He didn't even, nothing. He was a fucking asshole. He didn't show up to her funeral. His friends were talking shit about Crystal and the fact that she was dead. And I was just like, are you fucking serious? Who does that? How do you do that? Like, how do you exist? How are you a fucking person if you can sit and make fun of some girl who just died? And then for that guy Tyler not to give a shit, like, yeah, you just broke up with her, but obviously, you know, she was important at one point, like, very, very close to when it happened. She was important, and even if, like, she wasn't important to you, you were very important to her, so have some fucking respect, you know? Like, fucking A, dude. Fucking people, I don't understand it. I don't understand how you can just murder 2 kids for no reason, and how you can like joke about the fact that some girl just fucking died at 19 years old, died in a fucking car crash. Like, and I'm not gonna say I blame him, because obviously it wasn't his fault that she crashed, but like, I'm sorry. This has been a really long, depressing video. And I'll definitely like flag this as like a, hey, don't watch this if you don't want to be depressed. But just like, I just needed to say, I needed to get all this off my chest, and I need to say it. Now maybe you'll like understand why I mean, I don't know. This is why I'm awkward. This is why I don't have friends in real life, because I'm just an awkward person to try to know, and I'm uncomfortable. And if you don't text me back for a day and you're my friend, I think you're dead. I do. When Chris is home from work and he's late, he's like 20 minutes late, I'm like, he's fucking dead. I had a panic attack at work because I was supposed to be off at like 7, and I got out at 7:30 and he still wasn't there. And I thought he was fucking dead, and I started crying and freaking out and had to have somebody drive me to his mom's house. Like, but you know, that's what you get with me. And that's a little insight to my world. And on that note, I will put this little newspaper clipping in my tin box and see you later. I guess. Maybe. You never know.